How I bounced back from an unalive attempt and changed my life. Here is a picture, a blurred picture of my dad's gun. The very thing that I used to try to end it all 3 years ago. The story goes like this. I was a depressed young man at the age of, I think, 14, 15 at the time. And during this time, I already knew about self-improvement. I already knew about the idea of changing your life for the better. I was a depressed schmuck that had big ambition. 3 years ago, I wanted to work on myself. I wanted to look more attractive. I wanted to get a bigger physique. I wanted to make money, change my life. And I knew I could. I knew other people had done it. But during those times, it just felt like it was something that I was trying so hard to reach. Yet, every single time I went and held my hand out to try to get it, it felt like it was just an inch away. I had trouble locking in. I had trouble actually going about that change, actually making that change in my life. And that made me depressed. It made me feel like life was fucked. Like the world, the entire world was against me. That life hated me and I hated it. Now, this guy, on one of the worst days of my life, had a falling out with his sibling, with a sister. 3 years ago, that fight led to me trying to off myself. It led to me trying to off myself. She kept yelling. She kept hitting me. I don't remember what our argument was because that was just how my sister was. And I don't blame her for it at all. But that argument where I got hit in my right ear hard to the point that I kept hearing ringing for God knows how long at that time. I screamed and I screamed and I couldn't fucking hear my voice. I couldn't fucking hear my voice. Why the hell couldn't I hear? Why the fuck couldn't I hear? My grandfather came to the house to de-escalate the situation, but to no avail. After some time, things calmed down and my sister was just on her phone, acting like nothing happened. Bro, fuck, it hurt. It hurt like a motherfucker. Not only did life not matter to me anymore, if shit like that kept happening, what the fuck do I have to live for? So one of the stupidest ideas I've ever had, I went to my parents' room and scrambled to find my dad's gun. I found it. I cocked it. And then, I put it to my head. I waited for my sister to come to my parents' room. Like, imagine how fucked that is. I waited for my sister to come inside of my parents' room to show her what she did. To have my brain splatter onto her and have it be the shit that she has to live with for the rest of her life. Imagine how fucked up that is. Imagine how depraved and mental that is. My sister came around. I had the trigger right here. All I needed to do was to press it and it would be her fault. All I needed to do was to press it and she'd be blamed for it for the rest of her life and I'd be dead. But as some sliver of light creeped into my mind. In truth, I didn't want to die. In truth, I didn't want to kill myself. In truth, I wanted more to my life. In truth, I wanted to change my life for the better, to be on self-improvement, to actually be goal-striving. But it felt like killing myself was the only option. It felt like death was my salvation. So that became my decision. But in those few seconds where my sister came inside the room, as if God swooped in and showed me light, as if God swooped in and told me, it is not your time, son. And I allowed my sister to take the gun away from me. That light was hope. That light was hope that at the end of this dark fucking tunnel, there was a glimmer, that there was a ray of light waiting for me. And that light changed me. That light absolutely changed me. I used that light to change myself for the better. And it resulted in me finally working on myself, finally working on my facial attractiveness, which was what I wanted all along with my physique, and the business that I'm working on, which is this YouTube channel. I used that light that I found to change myself drastically. If you don't know who I am, my name is Chester Cabatuando. My mission is to give you your life back and make it better through teaching consistency. I have one of the best fucking transformations to go from someone who was a suicidal schmuck to insane consistency to the point that you'd find it hard to believe that what I told you happened. You'd find it hard to believe that I was that kind of guy. If you're interested in learning more about consistency, I have a consistency community which is top link in the description. Go check it out. So, with that out of the way, let's continue on with the video. There were two things that I did that helped me to reach this point of insane consistency. And those two things were insane self-reflection and obsessing over your life and what happens in it. A lot of you have probably already been indoctrinated to the idea of self-reflection, but we'll take it to a whole nother level by adding obsessing over your life and what happens in it. So first, let's talk about obsessing over your life and what happens in it. What does that mean? I basically resolved to go through this process of going about my day and looking into every single problem, mistake, idea, things that I like about my day, things that I didn't like about my day, and whatever thought would pop into mind that would make me feel compelled to write it. I basically went through this entire process of acquiring a dedicated notebook. This is like my 5th notebook now, but a dedicated notebook that I would use to start writing down everything that happens in my day. I obsessed over my life and everything that happened in it. So action step for you is to acquire a dedicated notebook and to start writing down everything that happens in your day. The problems that you're faced with, the mistakes that you made, ideas that you have, things that you liked about your day, things that you didn't like about your day, thoughts that you feel compelled to write. Write all of them down. Write everything down. This was one of those habits that I built up in myself that combined with insane self-reflection absolutely just fucking made such a drastic change day by day. Like every single day I improved because I always obsessed over everything that would happen in my day. And in practicality, in practical steps, you need to start writing it down the moment after it happened, or when you are brain blasted with the idea, when the thoughts that you feel compelled to write appear, because of two things. The rate at which the human brain forgets is insane. Like, holy shit. When you are faced with a problem, when you are faced with a mistake, sure, we'd want to change it. Sure, we'd want to solve it. Sure, we'd want to make sure that it doesn't happen again. But so many young guys fall into this trap where they understand that they have a problem, right? They understand that they have a mistake that they want to make sure doesn't happen again, and they have a problem that they want to solve. Now, what tends to happen is that they want to solve it, but they'll push it off for later. They want to solve it, but they'll push it off to such a point where their fucking brain forgets it. And then suddenly they'd be faced with the same problem again. Suddenly they'd be faced with the same mistake again. Which is fucking stupid. And I was that stupid. So I'd resolved to make this habit in myself to obsess over my life, to acquire a dedicated notebook and start writing down everything that happened in my day. Once a problem had occurred, let's say back then I had a porn problem. Once I had jerked off, once I had watched porn and jerked off, I would write down why it happened. I would start to analyze everything that would happen that led me up to that point where I had jerked off, where I had indulged in my porn addiction. I would write down and describe the environment, where I was, what I was doing, what triggers made me indulge. I would obsess over every single factor, mentally, emotionally, whatever was inside of my environment, everything that led me up to that point where that problem had occurred. Now, with mistakes, with speaking to other people, one of my mistakes was that I was way too over my head and trying to get all close, even with strangers. And I noticed that, and that was a mistake that I had found that needed to be avoided. So when it happened, I wrote it down again. ideas. I would have a YouTube video idea. I would have an idea like teaching people reflection, writing down things that happen in your day. Now, things that I like about your day. I like waking up in the morning and working. Things that I didn't like about my day. I don't like how my parents yell at me for no reason. Like no apparent reason, rather just for the sake of yelling at me. For the most mundane things, they yell at me. And thoughts that you feel compelled to write. Actually, in my notebook, I have a thought that I felt compelled to write. I have a thought of my consistency and my progress. And it wrote like this. The days of progress will come. I just have to stick through the days of drought. Think of it like having days of drought. That was a thought that I felt compelled to write because of the progress with my channel, because of the progress with my YouTube channel, where it felt like I was getting nowhere. And I had to write it down as looking into a more biblical sense of the 7 years of drought before the 7 years of prosperity. That right now I was in my day of drought, my days of drought. Like thoughts that you just feel compelled to write. Write them down. Problems. Right before they happen. Right after they happen, rather. Write them down. Mistakes. Write them down. Ideas. Write them down. Things you like. Things you didn't like. Write them down. Thoughts. Write them down. Write everything down. Like, not to mention, when you write it down just after it happens, you can actually provide a better description on the topic at hand. Like, when I analyze the porn problem right after it happened, I actually have like a better description of my environment, of my emotional state, of my thoughts, of whatever influenced me to indulge in my porn addiction. Doing it right after, writing down the description on what happened right after it happened, gives you a more detailed answer or a more detailed grasp of the situation. So start doing that. Moving forward with insane self-reflection. So with insane self-reflection, at the end of your day, you're gonna need to look into everything that you've written down from the obsess over your life and what happens in it section. You're going to go get your notebook and everything that you've written down for that day, you're going to use them and you're going to reflect on each and every one of them. Use what you've written down and start solving your problem or implementing ideas, solutions that you have inside of your brain. Use what you've written down to start solving your problems or implementing the ideas that you have or the solutions that you think would work for X problem. I'm a firm believer that the right question leads to the right answer. And when you're going through this process of self-reflection, asking yourself a bunch of questions regarding your problems, regarding your solutions, regarding your ideas can help to absolutely just 10x your solutions' power, 10x your problem-solving skills. And I'm gonna give you like a bunch of questions that you can ask yourself. So the first question is, this is with problem-solving, right? What solutions do I have access to that can help me solve this problem? Future Chester here. I forgot to mention an extra part of the solving problems section where you go to the internet to figure out what solutions you can implement. We live now in such a golden age where whatever problem you have, there's a guy that solves it and he's on the internet. So we can go for a porn addiction, for example. They say you have a porn addiction. There are a bunch of different guys out here that knows how to solve it, that has gone through that same path that you've gone through, that has underwent different things in their life, that have done different things in their life and have solved the problem that you need to solve. So go on the internet. Once you figure out like what your problem is, let's say you have a video game problem, like how to solve my video game addiction. There's a guy out there that literally has gone through the same thing you've gone through and he knows how to solve your problem. So go on the internet. I also recommend that you go and search up like different books on the topic. It's like books on porn addiction, like The Porn Trap, Your Brain on Porn. Like go and read books as well. Like there are just a bunch of different people that like know so much about a specific problem that you have. Let's say like you have a problem with your bad habits, for example. Like go search up the book Atomic Habits. There's just like a bunch of different people who have already solved your problem for you. And all you really have to do is to go on the internet and like figure out what your problem is and search up how to solve X problem. Now, once you've created a solution, how can I best apply this solution that I have? With every single one of your problems, when you've created a solution, ask yourself the question of how can you best apply it? Now, for solutions or for ideas that you have, I want you to ask yourself this question. How can I best apply this idea that I have? where can I apply it? I have an idea here inside of my notebook for you guys inside of the community where it talks about your brain being kinda stupid. And this idea that our brain would go to the point of when we're walking near a railing, it makes us think to jump off of it. It makes us have the thought of jumping off of the railing even though we don't want to. It just appears inside of your mind. And I had that idea of like, oh, your brain is kind of fucking stupid. So why are you listening to it? Like, where can I best apply that? Like, oh, I can best apply that with association. Like, yeah, my brain is kind of stupid. Why the fuck am I listening to it? So yeah, with ideas that you have, look into how best you can apply it and where can you apply it. And another thing that you can go and do is asking a question about a question leads to a good question. Now, what the fuck does that mean? Well, when you ask yourself a question regarding what question you can ask yourself, it can actually give you a really good question to help you with that specific problem or with that specific idea that you want to work for yourself. Like asking a question about a question that can lead you to a good question can really help. Like, I know it can sound fucking confusing, but just bear with me, right? So ask yourself this question. Like, what question can I ask myself that can help me with X? It can be with your problems that you have, with the mistakes that you have. Like, what question can I ask myself with my porn addiction that can help me to solve it? I have this question on like, what solutions or what is currently inside of the internet that I can search up that can help me with my porn addiction? That's a good question. Like, what is inside of the internet that can help me with my porn addiction? So ask yourself this. What question can I ask myself that can help me with X? Like, whatever it may be. It may be a mistake, it may be a problem, it may be a solution, maybe an idea, whatever it may be. Now, a lot of guys go through implementations or solutions in their life. Like, it's something that they just do as a one-off thing. Like, for a couple of weeks, you go and you obsess over your life, and then you reflect on everything, and then eventually, all your problems solved. You can now go into this new life of self-improvement where you're consistent, but that doesn't really happen, right? It doesn't happen. Like, obsessing over your life and insane self-reflection is a new way of life. From now on, every single day or from the rest of your life, you will need to do this. And honestly, you don't really have anything to lose and have so much to fucking gain. Like, I still do this. I still have this notebook of mine that when I have ideas, when I have things that I want to write, that I feel compelled to write, and things that like, when I have problems, when I have mistakes that I've made, I write them down and then I reflect on it at the end of my day. And I do this still. And my life is fucking improving. My life is fucking changing. Like, holy shit, it's changing for the better every single day. Like, my progress is linear. Like, it's a straight shot up because I always do this. Because I always iterate upon my mistakes and I always improve upon the solutions that I have. Please, for the love of God, make this a part of your life from now on. Don't let it be a one-off thing. And when you do this, holy fuck, your life will drastically change. Like, watch it change. Watch it fucking change. You will transform so long as you keep doing this. By the way, if you want to make the entire process of solving your problems, solving your mistakes, avoiding future mistakes, as well as a bunch of different lessons that you won't ever find here in my channel. I have this community, which is top link in the description, that's all about consistency. That's all about the process of consistency. You see, I've spent years of my life learning about this. I've made a lot of mistakes. Like, probably every single mistake that you'll ever make to get consistent. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to lie to you. 100% with my YouTube channel, you can get consistent. But if you want to make the entire process faster, if you want to solve your problems and mistakes faster, if you want to avoid future mistakes, if you want to have like exclusive access to me, to basically swoop in and move heaven and earth to solve your problems, to help you implement like such like fucking advanced lessons, like advanced solutions that you won't ever find here, that are just exclusively for the community, which is top link in the description, then I think you'd like the community that I have. I also think that community is one of the best curators for consistency. Like, obviously I'm like fucking biased with that, but bro, when you have people inside of your life that are striving for the same things you are, that are striving for the same goal of consistency like you, and you have this kind of like bonding moment, this kind of like being a part of a tribe, like being at a place where you actually fucking belong. Because when you go through this path, a lot of the times, like, the problem that you face is loneliness. The problem that you face is like having people that don't fucking get it. So yeah, go check it out. It's in the top link in the description. It's $37. It's the end of the video. As a YouTuber, I feel compelled to say, smash like, subscribe. If you want to make a change in your life faster, go check the community out. Keep moving forward, no matter how hopeless it seems. Bye-bye.